One of the most important aspects of a training program for a tennis player is the conditioning part. Tennis players can last anywhere from an hour and a half on court all the way to the slams for the men where they can be on court for 5 hours. I've often been asked, how do you train? How do you train for such long matches? How do you train an athlete in order to maintain their fitness level in terms of strength and power for an hour and a half or to 5 hours? First, we have to look at what tennis truly is. Tennis is a series of quick movement changes, 4 to 6 movement changes per point, happening over and over again for hours. Our conditioning program should be reflective of what the athlete is performing on court. Yes, in the off season, we can often train the tennis player on a track, for example, doing perhaps 50-meter sprints or even 100-meter sprints, keeping the rest intervals almost the same as we would see on a tennis court, meaning tennis players have 25 seconds in between each point. That's the amount of time we want to give them to rest. Our work period should be reflective of how much time they move on court in terms of somewhere between 4 to 8 seconds, which is traditionally the case in tennis.
Benefit of a platform like Coach Life is that we have all in one shop. We have all these great coaches, all this great expertise. I wonder if we were to add up all the hours and years of expertise that was on the site, it would be thousands of years, I would imagine, if we sort of made that accumulation. But to have the expertise in different age groups, different stages, high performance level, different parts of the world, different styles of players, so you can really start looking about what does my player look as if they need, and if you're a parent, you're thinking, what kind of coach do I need for a player like my kid?
Now, in the off season, it's great to restart the machine again and get the athlete acclimated to this type of training. But we have to remember one thing, and this is so important here, that tennis is moving side to side. And if we are only doing linear training, we're doing a disservice to our athlete. And that's why we want to start doing things like a shuttle run. And it can be five-yard increments. We're moving from one to the other. Some people call it suicides. We want to implement conditioning on court. We can either do that with the tennis coach, moving the athlete around, or we can do a star drill, meaning we start in the middle of the court, singles line, come back, singles line where the service line is, and all the way through around. This traditionally takes somewhere around, depending on the athlete and their skill level, around 16 seconds. Performing these types of exercises are really going to be beneficial for the tennis player to develop a strong aerobic base that can last for a long period of time. I would also challenge tennis coaches to increase the level of intensity during the week to help the tennis player adapt going forward. Without this base of anaerobic conditioning, you may have a great first set, but if your athlete starts becoming tired in the second set, then we will see a drop in performance. Specifically as a strength and conditioning coach, it is my responsibility to tailor the program to help the athlete achieve a level of fitness that will take them through an entire match. Seeing a tennis player underperform in a second set due to lack of conditioning is not what you want to see as a conditioning coach. This is where we have to go back to the drawing board and start reinitiating an even more intensive anaerobic conditioning process. Because of the amount of hours that they put on court, they neglect to train their body for an aerobic conditioning session. This means going back to the drawing board and increasing the aerobic capacity of our athlete. Often tennis players perform too much on court and do not pay enough attention to their anaerobic conditioning. This, for me, means as a tennis fitness coach, I need to take the player off court and start training them and increasing their anaerobic level. This can be done on a spinning bike, it can be done on a soccer field, and of course, we can do it on a tennis court. One of the things we also have to keep in mind is that by doing more running on a tennis court, specifically hard courts, this does become very demanding on the joints. It's not a problem if occasionally we take a tennis player, for example, and put them on a spinning bike and put them through intervals of 10 to 15 seconds hard with a rest period of 25 to 30 seconds easy. If we're doing this, we definitely want to perform multiple sets. For example, I love the concept of performing 3 sets. Why? Because most tennis matches are of a 3-set nature. So we would go 10 to 20 repetitions of 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off, for example. That, for math purposes, just makes it an easy 10 minutes. At a 2-minute rest period, which imitates the changeover, and we can do 3 sets of that. And that takes us to about a 30 to 35 minute type of anaerobic conditioning.